Take a deep breath. Let your mind settle for a moment. In this stillness, notice how the world around you continues to move, unceasing, demanding, filled with noise. But inside, within this moment, there is silence. It is in this silence that the journey begins, the journey towards self-mastery. Life does not challenge us merely with external obstacles. The true battle is within, the constant dialogue between what we know we must do and what we feel like doing. Doing every storm, every distraction, every emotion that shakes you. It all arises from one source, the undisciplined mind. An undisciplined mind is like an untamed river. It floods, it destroys, it carries everything in its path. A disciplined mind, however, flows with strength and direction. It gives life, it nourishes, it sustains. So the difference between chaos and clarity, between weakness and strength, is the mind you choose to cultivate. Take a moment to observe your thoughts. Do not fight them. Do not fight them. Do not chase them. Just watch. The mind will wander. That is its nature. But your awareness is the gatekeeper. Awareness is not about control. It is about understanding. And through understanding, control naturally arises. The strongest people are not those who conquer others, who rise through power, or who dominate the external world. The strongest are those who conquer the storm within. Because once you master the mind, you master every circumstance that life presents. When the mind obeys clarity instead of chaos, life becomes lighter. When the mind learns stillness, the heart becomes peaceful. And from peace, true strength emerges. Each morning when you wake, the first battle begins before the world even speaks to you. It begins with your thoughts, your habits, your choices. Will you rise or delay? Will you act or excuse? These small moments decide the direction of your entire life. Every time you give into comfort, you strengthen your weakness. Every time you choose discipline, you strengthen your freedom. Take a moment to breathe. Feel the weight of that truth, freedom through discipline. Many seek freedom by escaping rules, routines, or responsibility. But freedom without discipline is just another form of chaos. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. It is the foundation upon which awareness stands firm. When the mind lacks discipline, it becomes enslaved to emotions, to habits, to fear, to doubt. You may think you are free, but if your mind reacts to every impulse, you are not in command. To reclaim command, you must first reclaim your awareness. You must learn to pause before every reaction, to breathe before every word, to observe before every decision. This is where inner strength is born, in the pause between stimulus and response. The undisciplined mind seeks comfort. The disciplined mind seeks growth. The undisciplined mind chases pleasure. The disciplined mind chooses purpose. The undisciplined mind blames the world. The disciplined mind takes responsibility. And this responsibility, this willingness to stand firm even when the mind resists, is what separates the ordinary from the awakened. Do not confuse strength with tension. Discipline is not harshness, it is alignment. True discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. When you rise early, when you train your body, when you quiet your thoughts, you are honoring your own potential. Each act of discipline is an act of love toward yourself. It is the declaration that your higher self is in command, not your fears, not your impulses, not your laziness. Take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, who is ruling your mind today? Is it your awareness or your emotions? Is it your purpose or your distractions? Until you can answer this with clarity, you will continue to feel conflicted because the mind cannot serve two masters. The world will constantly test your focus. It will tempt you with noise, with comfort, with attention. But if you learn to guard your awareness, to protect the silence within, you will find that no external storm can shake your inner peace. This peace is not weakness, it is power in its purest form, because nothing is more powerful than a human being who cannot be disturbed by chaos. Discipline is the gate through which this power is accessed. It is the quiet repetition of right actions, the patience to do what must be done even when no one is watching. It is the refusal to surrender to the easy path. It is the understanding that growth requires discomfort. Observe nature. The mountain stands unmoved by the wind. The river flows not by force but by persistence. The sun rises each day without complaint. Their strength lies not in their effort, but in their constancy. Be like them, steady, patient, unshaken by the noise of the world. When you train your mind daily, you begin to see that most pain comes not from what happens, but from your reaction to it. An undisciplined mind magnifies pain, attaches stories, creates resistance. A disciplined mind accepts, learns, and moves with calm. This is the difference between suffering and growth. Take a deep breath again. Notice how calm feels. Calm is not the absence of thought. It is the mastery of thought. When you live in this awareness, you no longer chase control over life. You become in harmony with it. You no longer fight every wave. You learn to flow with it. And in that flow, you find true freedom. Do not wait for peace to appear from the outside. Peace begins with the discipline to sit in silence, to listen, to breathe, to observe. It is not found in noise or distraction. It is found in awareness. The more you return to awareness, the stronger you become. Every step you take in discipline strengthens your inner core. Every moment you resist distraction sharpens your focus. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you strengthen your awareness. And gradually, you will notice the world does not control you anymore. You move through it like a mountain through mist. Calm, unbothered, awake. You do not need to conquer the world. You only need to conquer yourself. Because when the self is mastered, the world aligns with your rhythm. The mind becomes clear, emotions become balanced, and life begins to move with grace. Remember this, the greatest victory is not in defeating others, but in mastering your own mind. The greatest strength is not in resisting the storm, but in remaining calm within it. And the greatest freedom is not in doing whatever you want, but in being free from the pull of what you do not need. So begin where you are. Do not seek a perfect moment, create it with discipline. Do not wait for peace, build it through awareness. Do not chase motivation, train consistency. Take one breath, take one action, and take one step toward the self that is waiting for you, the self that already knows peace, power, and clarity. Because in truth, you do not become stronger by seeking strength. You become stronger by letting go of weakness, moment by moment, thought by thought. And in this letting go, the path reveals itself. Stay still, stay aware, stay disciplined. For the strongest people are the ones who conquer themselves first. Take a deep breath, close your eyes for a moment, and observe the silence between each inhale and exhale. That space, the stillness between breaths, is where truth resides. Within that stillness, you can sense something steady, quiet, and powerful. That is the mind when it is undisturbed. You undisturbed. The mind is the foundation of your entire life. Every choice, every emotion, every action arises from it. When the mind is clear, life flows with clarity. When the mind is clouded, even simple paths appear confusing. So if you wish to master your life, begin not with the world, but with the mind. Most people live their entire lives reacting. They do not act with awareness. They merely respond to impulses. They are pushed and pulled by moods, desires, and opinions. Their minds are filled with noise that does not belong to them. And because of that, they never truly live. They only react. They only react. Take a moment to observe your own thoughts. See how they rise and fall, how one gives birth to another. The mind is constantly producing stories, judgments, and emotions. If you do not train it, you become its servant. But when you begin to observe it without judgment, you become its master. So, the untrained mind creates illusions. It convinces you that you are your thoughts. It tells you that you are angry, sad, lost, or afraid. But you are none of those things. You are the awareness that observes them. The clouds of emotion pass. The sky of awareness remains. Imagine standing before a calm lake. When the surface is still, you can see your reflection clearly. But when the water is disturbed, your image breaks apart. The same happens with your mind. When your thoughts are restless, you lose sight of who you are. But when your mind becomes still, you recognize your true self. Steady, grounded, and aware. This is why training the mind must be your highest priority. Without a strong mind, discipline is fragile. Without awareness, even the strongest body becomes directionless. The mind is both the architect and the guardian of your life. Take time every day to sit in silence. You do not need hours. Even a few moments of still observation strengthen the roots of your awareness. In those moments, the noise begins to fade. You learn that not every thought deserves attention and not every emotion needs expression. To train the mind, you must practice three things: awareness, patience, and repetition. Awareness shows you what needs to change. Patience gives you the strength to endure the process. Repetition builds mastery. When you start observing your mind, you may feel discomfort. Old emotions will rise, hidden fears will surface, and impatience will test your calm. But remember, this is the path. Growth does not happen in silence. It happens in struggle, observed with silence. Every emotion you witness without reaction loses power over you. Every impulse you resist strengthens your will. Take a breath. Feel the weight of your own awareness. You are not your restlessness. You are not your doubt. You are the one who sees them. A strong mind does not mean a mind without thought. It means a mind that is not enslaved by thought. It means being able to think deeply without drowning in emotion. It means being able to feel pain without losing peace. This balance is the heart of inner strength. Most people wish to control the world, but cannot control their own attention. They chase outcomes, recognition, or comfort, but neglect the one tool that shapes all experience, the mind itself. Train your mind and you train your destiny. Ignore your mind and you will be carried by circumstance like a leaf in the wind. Ask yourself, where is your mind right now? Is it here in this moment or lost in thoughts of past and future? Every time you bring it back to the present, you take one step closer to mastery. Awareness is the practice of returning again and again to what is real. You do not fail when your mind wanders. You fail only when you stop bringing it back. Each return builds strength. Each moment of presence polishes the mirror of your mind. A disciplined mind becomes your greatest ally. It protects you when life becomes chaotic. It calms you when emotions surge. It guides you when confusion surrounds you. It becomes the inner compass that always points toward truth. Take a moment to breathe deeply. Notice how your breath moves through your body. This simple act is the key to grounding the mind. When your mind begins to drift, return to your breath. It is the bridge between thought and awareness. The breath teaches patience, rhythm, and presence, the same qualities that define mastery. A weak mind avoids discomfort. A strong mind understands that discomfort is the teacher. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your awareness. When something disturbs you, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, what can I learn from this moment? Training the mind is not about escaping life. It is about engaging with it consciously. It means walking into difficulty with calm and leaving with wisdom. It means choosing response over reaction, awareness over impulse, and this choice, repeated daily, transforms you from a wanderer into a warrior of awareness. Remember, the mind is like a muscle. If you neglect it, it becomes weak and easily distracted. If you train it, it becomes sharp, disciplined, and powerful. You do not strengthen it by reading or wishing. You strengthen it through consistent practice. Every morning, before the noise of the world enters, spend a few minutes in silence. Sit with your breath. Observe the flow of thoughts without chasing them. You will notice patterns, worries, fears, desires repeating themselves. Recognize them for what they are, temporary movements of the mind. When you no longer identify with them, you free yourself from their control. A trained mind creates simplicity. You stop chasing what is unnecessary. You stop arguing with reality. You stop seeking validation in the opinions of others. Instead, you live with focus, clarity, and direction. This simplicity is not emptiness, it is freedom. Discipline of the mind is the foundation of all mastery. Without it, even the strongest body collapses. With it, even the weakest body becomes powerful. It determines how you see, how you act, how you live. Take a breath again. Let the air enter fully and leave completely. Feel how awareness deepens when you are present. This presence is not a skill. It is your natural state. You only need to remember it. The mind that is aware is the mind that is free. free from the pool of emotion, from the illusions of ego, from the prison of distraction. When you understand this, discipline becomes not a burden but a blessing. You stop fighting the mind and begin training it with patience and compassion. Your task is not to silence the mind, but to understand it. When you understand something deeply, it loses the power to control you. Understanding transforms chaos into clarity. It transforms resistance into flow. Remember this truth. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is restless, life will feel chaotic. If your mind is calm, even difficulty will appear manageable. When the mind becomes disciplined, every aspect of life follows its order. Do not seek control through force. Seek control through awareness. Awareness is the highest form of discipline because it arises from understanding, not suppression. So sit again in silence. Listen to your own thoughts. Watch them appear and disappear. In that simple act, the transformation begins. Your mind is the root of all creation, the source of strength, peace, and discipline. If you plant seeds of awareness, you will grow forests of calm. If you water your mind with patience, it will bear fruits of clarity. And if you guard it with discipline, it will become unshakable. This is the foundation. The mind still, focused, aware. When it is trained, everything aligns. When it is scattered, everything suffers. Train your mind daily, with silence, with breath, with attention. For this is the path to inner mastery. And when the mind is mastered, life follows effortlessly, like the river that finds its way to the sea. Let it fill you, and let it leave without resistance. In this breath there is a lesson. Everything comes, everything goes. Awareness is the space that remains unchanged through it all. To live with awareness is to live fully awake. Most people are alive yet asleep, walking, speaking, acting, but not truly present. They move through days carried by habit and distraction. They see, but do not notice. They hear, but do not listen. They act, but without awareness of why. And so their days blur together, and their lives pass like a dream. Awareness is not something you gain, it is something you return to. You already possess it. It has simply been covered by noise. Noise of thoughts, of desires, of endless movement. But beneath all of that, there is a silent witness, the awareness that observes all things. To reconnect with this witness is to reconnect with your essence. Take a moment to look around you right now. Without judgment, simply notice. Notice the sounds in the distance, the feeling of air against your skin, the rhythm of your breathing. Nothing extraordinary, yet everything alive. This is presence. It is not something you achieve. It is something you allow. When awareness fills your actions, even the simplest task becomes sacred. Drinking water, walking, breathing, all become moments of clarity. Presence is not about doing less. It is about being more conscious in what you do. The mind often believes peace will come when things are different, when you have more, when you achieve more, when the noise ends. But awareness reveals that peace is not in the next moment, it is in this one. Peace is not a place, it is a state of being. Awareness gives birth to understanding. When you are aware, you can see the roots of your emotions, not just their surface. You recognize fear not as an enemy, but as an opportunity to grow courage. You see anger not as something to suppress, but as energy seeking understanding. You witness the rising and falling of every emotion without being consumed by it. That is freedom, not the absence of emotion, but mastery within it. Take a deep breath again. Watch how the body responds when you bring attention to it. Awareness transforms everything it touches. The moment you become aware of tension, it begins to release. The moment you notice chaos, order begins to emerge. Awareness is the light that dissolves darkness without fighting it. When you live without awareness, the mind controls you. When you live with awareness, you control the mind. Awareness turns reaction into response. Awaken into response. It turns confusion into understanding. It turns restlessness into calm. Becoming aware means observing life as it unfolds, not wishing it were different, not escaping it, not labeling it good or bad. It means being the silent observer of your own thoughts and actions. When you do this, you begin to notice patterns, how your mind reacts, how your emotions rise, how your ego defends itself. And in that noticing, transformation begins. Presence is the art of slowing down enough to see the truth. Modern life glorifies speed. More goals, more noise, more doing. But the path to awareness is the opposite. Slow down, breathe, feel. The more present you are, the more you realize that life was never rushing. Only the mind was. When you are present, even time seems to change. Minutes stretch into eternity because you are fully there. You are not pulled into yesterday's regret or tomorrow's fear. You live now. And that is where life truly happens. The past exists only in memory. The future exists only in imagination. Reality exists only now. To live without awareness of the present moment is to miss life itself. Take another moment. Listen. Notice the silence between my words. Awareness lives there, in the space, not the sound. Presence is not created by adding more, but by removing what is unnecessary. Remove distraction, remove judgment, remove expectation. What remains is clarity. When you walk, walk with awareness. Feel your feet connect with the ground. When you eat, taste your food completely. When you speak, know your words before they leave your lips. This is not just mindfulness, it is living consciously. It is moving through life as an active participant, not a distracted wanderer. Awareness strengthens discipline, because when you are aware, you can see the small moments where the mind tries to escape effort. You catch yourself reaching for distraction. You notice the hesitation before taking action. And in that noticing, you gain the power to choose differently. Awareness gives you the space between thought and action, the space where freedom lives. Every moment of awareness sharpens your perception. You begin to see life as it truly is, not as the mind interprets it. You realize how much energy is wasted on what you cannot control. You understand that peace does not come from managing everything around you, but from mastering everything within you. In awareness, even pain becomes a teacher. When discomfort arises, you can observe it, feel its texture, its rhythm, its impermanence. When you stop resisting, the pain loses its power. What remains is pure experience untouched by suffering. Pain may visit, but awareness refuses to become its host. Do not confuse awareness with thinking. Thinking is analysis. Awareness is observation. Thinking divides, awareness unites. When you think about peace, you are distant from it. When you are aware of peace, you are it. Awareness does not require effort, only attention. It is not a skill that must be learned, but a habit that must be remembered. You were born aware. You simply forgot while chasing noise. Return to what you already are. Every practice, meditation, breathing, reflection exists for one purpose: to bring you back to awareness. Without awareness, discipline becomes mechanical. Without awareness, even good intentions can turn into blind habits. But with awareness, every action becomes meaningful. It is not how much you do, but how consciously you do it that shapes your inner strength. When you live in awareness, you stop seeking approval. You act not to impress, but to express. You speak not to dominate, but to communicate. You live not to prove, but to be. This simplicity brings profound peace. Take another breath. Let your attention rest in the breath, the rising and falling, the constant flow. Notice how the breath happens without effort, without control. Awareness is the same, natural, effortless, ever present. When the mind is trained in awareness, external situations lose their power to disturb. The noise of the world becomes background music, no longer a distraction. You begin to move with calm certainty. Your decisions become clear, your emotions balanced. You start living as the master, not the servant of your mind. To cultivate awareness, practice stillness daily. Set aside moments where you do nothing, not even think. Simply sit, breathe, and observe. At first, the mind will resist. It will demand distraction. But as you persist, the restlessness fades and peace becomes familiar. Awareness deepens through patience. You cannot rush it. You cannot rush it. You cannot force it. You can only return to it again and again until it becomes your natural way of being. Soon, you will begin to notice beauty in places you once ignored. The quiet of early morning, the sound of footsteps, the weight of silence. Awareness awakens gratitude. Because the more you see, the more you realize how much there is to appreciate. Gratitude strengthens awareness, and awareness deepens gratitude. Together, they form the roots of inner peace. Remember this truth: where your awareness goes, your energy flows. If your awareness is lost in distraction, your strength scatters. If your awareness is centered in the present, your power multiplies. Every moment of presence is an act of reclaiming yourself. So breathe again, return to now. Feel your body, your breath, your awareness, all existing together in harmony. This is the essence of mindfulness: to be here fully without resistance, to be alive not in thought, but in truth. Awareness is the light that reveals discipline. It is the beginning of mastery and the essence of peace. When you cultivate it daily, you no longer chase life, you live it. And in living it, you discover the unshakable stillness that has always been within you. Be here now. Be aware. For in awareness, you meet yourself. And in meeting yourself, you find freedom. Let it anchor you in this moment. Feel the stillness that arises when you give full attention to a single breath. That stillness is the ground upon which discipline is built. Discipline is not a punishment. It is not suppression, nor is it denial. Oh, it is the art of alignment, the deliberate act of choosing what serves your growth over what serves your comfort. It is the quiet strength that turns awareness into action. Awareness without discipline is like light without discipline, is like light without direction. It illuminates but does not move. Discipline gives awareness a path, a structure, a rhythm. It transforms understanding into progress and intention into reality. Discipline begins in that first choice. It is not found in grand gestures, but in small, consistent acts of self-respect. How you wake, how you breathe, how you begin your day. These are the seeds of strength. Take a moment to reflect on your daily life. How many of your actions are conscious or conscious? How many are repetitions of habit and comfort? Every action repeated without awareness strengthens unconscious living. Every action done with awareness strengthens mastery. Discipline is the bridge between these two worlds. When you practice discipline, you teach the body and mind who leads. Awareness, not impulse. The mind will resist. It will whisper or rest a little longer. Delay tomorrow. But tomorrow does not shape you. Today does. Each moment of resistance is an invitation to build strength. Every time you act despite resistance, you win a silent victory over weakness. Discipline is not born from motivation, it is born from clarity. Motivation fades, discipline endures. Motivation depends on how you feel, discipline depends on who you choose to be. When you act only when you feel ready, you remain a servant to your moods. When you act regardless of how you feel, you become the master of your life. Take a breath. Feel the weight of that truth. Discipline is freedom, because through it, you are no longer controlled by impulses, desires, or laziness. You move according to purpose, not emotion. Every person wishes for success, peace, and strength, but few are willing to follow the path that leads to it. That path is built on structure, on the daily repetition of effort, awareness, and patience. It is not easy, but it is simple. Wake early, not for the world, but for yourself. The early hours hold silence, and silence holds power. It is in that stillness that the mind can align with purpose before the world's noise enters. The disciplined person meets the day. The undisciplined person is chased by it. Do not wait for the right conditions. Discipline means acting with what you have, where you are, as you are. The mind will say, not today. But the moment you act anyway, you break its control. The moment you rise when comfort tells you to rest, you prove that your will is stronger than your weakness. Take time each day to strengthen your body, not for appearance, but for resilience. A strong body supports a strong mind. When you train the body, you also train patience, focus, and endurance. Physical discipline teaches spiritual discipline, the breath in struggle, the calm in movement, the silence in repetition. These are lessons for the soul. But physical training alone is not enough. Train the mind with equal commitment. Read consciously, reflect daily, observe your emotions. A mind left untrained becomes a source of endless noise. A trained mind becomes a sanctuary. Discipline requires consistency more than intensity. A single burst of effort changes little, but steady effort, even when small, changes everything. Do not chase speed, chase steadiness. Do not demand perfection, demand perfection. Demand persistence. Each day you practice discipline, you sharpen the edge of your awareness. Each day you choose effort over ease, you strengthen your foundation. And one day you will realize that discipline has become your nature. Effortless, silent, unbreakable. Take another breath. Discipline is not an act, it is a relationship with yourself. It is the dialogue between your higher self and the voice of comfort. Every time you choose discipline, you are saying to yourself, I am not here to waste this life. I am here to master it. The disciplined person understands something powerful. That greatness is built in the quiet repetition of ordinary acts. While others sleep, they rise, wise, walk. While others complain, they practice. While others seek ease, they seek growth. This is not arrogance, it is devotion. Devotion to becoming who they are meant to be. Understand this. Discipline is not rigidity. It is not about suppressing your humanity. It is about guiding your energy toward what truly matters. A disciplined person can rest without guilt because rest is earned. A disciplined person can enjoy because enjoyment is balanced with effort. True discipline is harmony, not extremity. Every time you practice discipline, you build trust with yourself. You prove that your word has weight. You no longer say, I will try. You say, I will. This inner trust is rare, and it is the root of confidence. Confidence is not built by applause or recognition. It is built by consistency, by showing up even when no one sees. Take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself, how many promises have you made to yourself that you have broken? Each broken promise weakens your will. Each fulfilled one strengthens your soul. So from this moment forward, make fewer promises and keep all of them. Discipline is not about controlling the future. It is about mastering the moment. You do not need to see the whole path. Just take the next right step. Then with awareness leads you forward. Discipline thrives in simplicity. One breath, one action, one purpose. To cultivate discipline, begin small. Set a time to wake up and honor it. Set a practice and commit to it. When you feel resistance, act gently but firmly. You do not fight resistance, you walk through it. You do not argue with the mind, you train it through repetition. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Each act strengthens the next. Each small victory expands your capacity for greater ones. Eventually, effort becomes your natural rhythm. The same tasks that once felt heavy become light. What was once forced becomes effortless. Discipline creates stillness, because once you live by your own structure, external chaos loses power over you. You no longer depend on the world to feel steady. You become steady yourself, and that steadiness radiates into everything you do. There is deep peace in discipline. Not because it is easy, but because it removes confusion. You no longer debate what needs to be done. You simply do it. You no longer seek approval. You approve of yourself through action. The noise of indecision fades. The calm of direction remains. Take a final breath here. Let discipline and awareness meet. Awareness gives vision. Discipline gives movement. Together, they form the essence of mastery. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about returning again and again to your purpose, your breath, your path, your falling, rising, learning, adjusting. This is the rhythm of a disciplined life. Remember, you are not here to escape discomfort. You are here to use it as fuel. Each moment of struggle is a moment of strengthening. Each challenge is a call to rise. The one who masters daily discipline masters the flow of life itself, because life will always test your consistency, your patience, and your clarity. But through practice, you stop fighting the tests. You learn to flow with them. And in that flow, you find unshakable peace. So begin today. Rise early, move with purpose, do what must be done, even when it feels difficult. And remember, discipline is not the restriction of freedom. It is the path to it. Master the small moments and life will follow your rhythm. Stay aware, stay patient, stay disciplined.